Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video. Let me ask you guys something. Have you guys ever heard of a channel called My Story Animated? Well, basically, it's a channel that tells stories, and those stories are also animated, moving and everything. And some of the videos on there are really good. So I highly recommend you guys go and check out that channel and check out all the stories they have on that channel if you don't know who they are. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about two specific videos that My Story Animated has made. And both of these videos are a continuity with each other. There's a part 1 and a part 2. And both of these videos are called My Mom Woke Up from a Coma After 15 Years to Get Revenge. And I'm going to tell you guys something. The first video is an absolute masterpiece. Hell, it's the second most popular video on My Story Animated. Now listen, I want you guys to go and watch those two videos first, and then as soon as you've done watching them, come back and listen to me what I have to say, because I'm going to be giving spoilers. It's that good, okay? Just pause this video, make a new tab, and go and watch those two videos. I'm going to count down to 1, and then I'm going to continue with the video, okay? Because there are some major spoilers coming up, okay? Okay, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And hopefully you've seen My Mom Came Back for Revenge. Okay, that's not the title, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, these two videos have the makings of being a great movie or a miniseries. I mean, the setup is so good. Now, if you've seen those two videos, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the story is really good. And the main two things that I love about this story is that it has this sort of air of mystery to it. And it has quite a few complicated situations in it. And you combine that with the air of mystery because it isn't all right and wrong, black and white. And there are things that you just don't know. I mean, is the mom really crazy? Is she a victim? Is the other mom really trying to help the family? Or is she just trying to get rid of the first mom and get back with the family? And there's the father, because he is caught between two women that he loves. And then there's the brother that blames his sister for putting their mom into a coma. I mean, he's not mean or anything, but the main character Emma always felt that her brother was pushing her away, his sister. And then it comes to Emma herself. In the beginning, she was scared that her mother wouldn't accept her because she was the one who put her in a coma in the first place. And the mother has missed around 10 to 14 years of her life because of the complicated pregnancy, and she thought that her mother would hate her. And in the beginning, it looks like that the mother actually accepts Emma and was even happy to see her. And then we come to the juicy part. The mother doesn't actually know that the father is actually remarried. Actually, I forgot all their names except for Emma, so I'll just give them nicknames, okay? You've got the dad, the brother, Emma, and then you've got Emma's mom, which I'll call Mom, and then you've got Emma's stepmom, so I'll just call her Stepmom. I know they have names, it's just that I know some of them do have names, but I don't think all of them have names. If I'm wrong, just please let me know in the comment sections below. Anyways, while Emma's mom was in a coma, after 10 years of Emma's mom being in a coma, they thought that she would never wake up. So the kids gave their blessing to their father to date again. And he's been married to the stepmom for about 4 years. Or was it 3? Anyways, the stepmom seems to be a nice person the first time we see her. But here's the kicker. Both women don't know about the other woman. The mom doesn't know about the dad, her husband, that he went dating again and he got remarried. And the stepmom thought that he divorced Emma's mom. So yeah, this is good drama and a great complicated situation. The dad and the kids thought, that she would never wake up. So he went on a date and got married to the stepmom. And the stepmom thought that he was divorced, but he never actually told her that he was still married to Emma's mom. And the thing is, when it came to Emma's mom, they didn't outright tell their mom that the dad got remarried. Emma's mom actually guessed. They didn't tell her anything. Emma's mom just put 2 and 2 together when they said that they would put her luggage in the guest room. And Emma's mom was confused with this, and she thought to herself, looking around, do you have a stepmom? They said yes, but she isn't here. And the mom had a weird expression on her face. And Emma even said that she doesn't know that her mom was horrified or relieved. Now the thing is, when it came to the stepmom, it was completely different. The dad and the stepmom was talking in the kitchen and saying stuff like, what we're going to do about this? We should try and get her parents involved in this so that they can take her home. And the father says, we are her family and she'll be living with us. And the stepmom didn't like this. And she says, well, we can just put her in a hotel or something. And the father said that he's still married to her. The mom, I mean. And the stepmom was absolutely fuming at this point. She packed her bags and went to go and live with her sisters. And when she left, the dad was relieved. And then, later on, the mom and stepmom actually met. And the mom was trying to, be all nice and everything. and the stepmom was giving the mom some dirty looks, and the mom was actually trying to be all nice, like offering her some tea, offering her to come on in, and the stepmom is like, I don't need permission to come into my own home. And the mom even said, oh, we can all call this place home. So the mom was actually offering for the stepmom to actually live with them, but the stepmom actually scoffed at this, and the mom nearly lost her cool, and the mom even says, I don't know why you're being like this. And the stepmom just said, you're taking my husband away. And the mom said that it was actually the stepmom that took her husband away from her first, and she got to see her kids grow up a little bit while she was in a coma for 14 years. So if you think about it, the mom makes a really good point. I mean, from what we heard from Emma, the mom doesn't seem to be a bad person. She was nice to her son, reading him books, giving him pancakes, and so on and so on. I mean, I can understand it from both views. The stepmom is angry at the mom and the father because he lied to her, not telling her that he's still married, and Emma's mom just comes in and takes her man. But Emma's mom does bring up some really good points. I mean, if the stepmom should be angry at anybody, it should be the father. He was the one who didn't tell her that he was still married to Emma's mom. And again, she does bring up some good points. She was in a coma, she didn't get to see her kids grow up, and it was the stepmom who actually stole her man first. And after this, she threw some tea on Emma's mom, and one thing leads to another, and she even said that she wouldn't forgive the father, and she even snarled at Emma, and she left. And the father was actually trying to call the stepmom, but she wouldn't answer. And as time passed, everything just seemed to get back to normal. They seemed all happy and everything. Everything looked like it was turning out great. And then, sometime later, the mom started acting strange, like leaving the door open, leaving the tap on, all that sort of stuff. And when Emma went to go and help her mom, she asked Emma, who are you? What are you doing in my house? And Emma said, Mom, it's me. I'm your daughter, Emma. And the mom said, no, my daughter is a baby. I gave birth to her a few days ago. And then the mom got a hold of Emma's hair and she started pulling it and said, where is my baby? And the dad had to pull her off Emma. And the mom started crying and she says, I'm sorry, Emma, I'm sorry. And Emma just ran to her room. And the doctor even said that it was like a mind lapse or something. But even after saying that, Emma was trying to keep her distance from her mom because that incident actually scared Emma. And the mom was actually trying to say sorry, either from a distance or in small ways. But it seems that the mom was getting along with the husband and her son, but the mom was just giving Emma like dirty looks. And the mom at night went into her daughter's room, and Emma woke up and she could see her mom in the darkness. And then when the lights turned on, she was gone. And then we could hear her scream, and it was coming from the woods. And that's where the video ends. And then we go on to part 2. And when it comes to part 2, the dad and the brother goes out looking for the mom. Emma is scared, and she even said, whenever I was scared, I would always call Lisa. Yeah, that's the stepmom's name, Lisa. So we got Emma and Lisa. Lisa's the stepmom. And Emma said that she wished she could see Lisa again while she was talking to her on the phone. And Lisa said, you will. And then Emma goes downstairs, and the mom grabs her and pins her down. And the dad and the brother grabs the mom and tells the brother to call an ambulance. And as the mom is being taken away, the mom says, I don't know what happened. I don't remember anything. But the dad and the brother saw with their own eyes what happened. And the dad goes with the mom, and the brother just glares at Emma and just goes straight to bed. And sometime, Emma's starting having nightmares about her mom and how Lisa is in a river or a sea that's being swept away. Yeah, she starts to have nightmares like this. So yeah, Emma is actually afraid of her mom, and she wishes that she could be with Lisa again. And then, one night, Emma overhears her brother talking to their dad, and the brother said, this is all Emma's fault. We just got mom back, and now she sends her back to the hospital all over again. And Emma is upset when her brother said this. And the dad knew Emma was listening, so he tried to go and talk to her, but she wouldn't answer. And as the days went on, she wouldn't eat, she kept getting nightmares, and eventually the brother did try to say sorry to his sister by giving her gifts and stuff like that. And sometimes, Emma would sometimes talk to Lisa on the phone, and sometimes Lisa would come over when the dad and the brother's gone, and it's just Emma. And Lisa even said that she should go and see her mother sometimes. And then one day, the dad and the brother asked Emma if she wanted to go and see their mother. And the father even said that she really wanted to see Emma. And Emma just outright said, in a mean way said, why don't you two go? You're obviously her family and I'm not. And the dad said, okay, we'll go another time, but here's some money for some pizza. And then they left, and she was going to go and order some pizza. And then, when Emma heard somebody coming into the front door, Emma hid behind the sofa. Somebody came in, and it was Lisa, and she was in disguise. And Lisa was actually talking to somebody on the phone. And someone on the phone says, are you sure about this? And Lisa said, yes, she's getting visitors today. And Emma overheard this. So Lisa went upstairs, and Emma followed behind. And she caught Lisa in the act. And she asked Lisa, what are you doing here? And she says, oh, nothing, I'm just here to pick up a few things. And there was pills on the floor. that Lisa dropped, and Emma quickly picked up the ball and the pills, and Emma put 2 and 2 together, and Emma knew that Lisa was actually drugging Emma's mom. Lisa was giving Emma's mom something else rather than her regular pills. And Lisa says something along the lines of, "Oh no, I'm not drugging her, I'm trying to help her, and I knew her from a long time ago, and she was a terrible person then. And it was shown to us that she's been living in the shed in the forest, and she was heading back to the shed after breaking into Emma's house, and when she was on her way back to the shed, a raccoon scared her and she screamed, and that was the scream from the end of the video of part 1. So everything started to make sense about Emma's mom going nuts. It was Lisa giving Emma's mom those pills. She replaced Emma's mom's pills with the pills Lisa brought over when she snuck into the house and replaced them. And Lisa says, "Oh no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just lowering your mom's inhibitions to show her true feelings." And Lisa goes on saying, "Oh, that she really hates you." And Emma even said, "No, that's not true. You just don't like it that my dad is with somebody else." And Emma started crying and she says, "Oh, I just want everything to go back the way it was. And I'm scared of my mom." And Lisa said, "Look, I'm the closest thing to a mother that you have. Everything was great until your mom woke up." And she even showed her a picture of her and Emma when they was on vacation. And Lisa says, "Don't you miss this?" And Emma thought to herself, she's right. Lisa was always there for me. And my real mom will always hate me. And then Lisa gave Emma her new phone number. And she told Emma not to show her the number to her dad and not to tell anybody that Lisa was here. Lisa even said that she would never come to the house ever again. But she told Emma that she has a plan to get the family back together. And then Lisa leaves, and instead of flushing the pills, Emma kept the pills and she put Emma's regular pills back. She didn't call the police or anything. And then the father and the brother came back and they told Emma that their mom will be returning home soon. And Emma didn't like this and she started crying and she went into her room and hid. And then when she came back out, she told her father and brother that they were just happy tears, but really that she was scared. And Emma was even contemplating on throwing the pills away and forget about Lisa. And then one night, Emma goes downstairs and she sees her dad in the kitchen and he's crying over something. And she goes to the kitchen, asks her dad if he's alright, and he puts the thing in the drawer. And the dad says, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just tired or something, and I'm just happy that your mom's coming back." And when the dad leaves the kitchen, Emma goes to the drawer and pulls a picture out of the drawer, and it's a picture of Lisa. So this was indication that Emma's dad really did miss Lisa. And so this was the push that Emma needed to think, okay, I'm going to work alongside Lisa to get our family back. And Emma even said that, well, when mom woke up, she kind of ruined everything. So at the end of the video, Emma said, "I've decided to work with Lisa to get our family back, and we can try and get my mom out of my life forever." And, well, that's it. So yeah, I basically told you everything. Well, not everything, on what's happened in these 2 videos. And you want to know something? It's irritating me. Because it's clear Emma is afraid of her mom, and Lisa is the one who's drugging their mom, thinking that she's crazy so they can lock her up so she can get back with the husband, Emma's father. I mean, come on, it is obvious at this point. And if you ask me, I think Emma is just being selfish. Emma is letting her fears of her mom control her. I mean, come on, think about it. It's obvious that Lisa wants to get back with the husband, and Lisa has been lying all this time. She goes to Emma, "Oh, don't you miss this? Remember when we used to have a good time? When we was all happy?" And it's obvious that she's manipulating Emma. I mean, come on, she comes over when the dad and brother's not there, and she tells Emma not to tell anyone that she's been there. And that's what's happening here. And Emma is just remembering the good times that the family had before her mom came out of the coma, and she's scared of her mom, and she kept on having these nightmares that made things even worse. So yeah, Emma is letting her fears get the best of her, and Lisa is manipulating Emma. And now it's come down to Emma saying, "Okay, I'm going to try and get my mom out of our lives with the help of Lisa." And guess what? It has been a freaking year or a year and a half since those 2 episodes came out. And this story has been one of the most interesting stories on that channel. Now listen, I could be wrong, and maybe Lisa isn't manipulating Emma. Maybe Lisa does care about Emma, the brother, and the husband. Maybe Emma's mom is bad. Maybe she does hate Emma. Maybe Emma's mom is the bad guy of the story. It's going to be either one or the other. It's either going to be Lisa's the good guy or Emma's mom's the good guy. Emma's mom's the victim and Lisa is the villain. I mean, yeah, technically she isn't hurting anybody, but she's giving Emma's mom's drugs that makes her go crazy, and she broke into the house. Now, the reason why I say, oh, it's going to be one of these 2 is because it's going to be obvious. Because when it comes to stories, the creators of their stories don't like people to what the plot of the story is going to be. It would usually be the opposite of what everyone's thinking. And you're probably thinking, oh, so Lisa's manipulating everybody, and the mom's the victim. But if that is the case, then My Story Animated will just do the opposite and say, oh yeah, the mom was crazy. She did hate Emma. And it's right what Emma and Lisa is doing, to put Emma's mom back in the loony bin so they can be a happy family again. And even though we're thinking that it's the obvious, that Lisa is the bad guy, I think they're going to change it around and say, oh yeah, Emma's mom was the bad guy. But there is one or two things that we need to bring up. And number one, in part 1 of the video, it was stated that Emma's mom had parents. I mean, did Emma not ever go to her mom's parents? Did she ever meet them? Did she ever spend any time with them? Because Emma has never ever mentioned her grandparents from her mom's side. I mean, you would have thought Emma would pick up something from knowing her grandparents. Like, oh yes, my daughter was a good girl. My daughter was really looking forward to meeting you. So, here's the thing. Why don't we ever see them in the story? I mean, maybe because they don't have any relevance in the story. But you would have thought, after Lisa mentioned them, you would have thought, okay, so what does her parents think about this? Does Emma's mom's parents hate Emma because she put their daughter in a coma? Does she even know them? Emma, I mean. And number 2, when Lisa left the house in part 1, she left to go and live with her sister. And the thing is, we don't know anything about Lisa's sister. We don't know her background, we don't know anything about her. But I might have an idea of who she is. Right now, it has been established that Lisa has a sister. And Lisa went to go and live with her for a bit. And we know next to nothing about the sister. But I do have a theory. Do you guys remember in part 2, when Lisa was sneaking into the house? And she was talking to somebody on the phone? And she was talking to the person that was on the other side of the phone. She's got visitors and they won't be home for a while, etc, etc. And also, do you guys remember those pills that was in part 2? Where Lisa was secretly giving Emma's mom those pills that was supposedly making her open up a bit? Well, I have a theory. I actually think that Lisa's sister might actually be a doctor or a scientist of some sort. Lisa said that the pills shows the person who's taken them their true selves. Either that or Lisa is lying about that and she just made it up and it actually does mess with people's minds and Emma actually believed Lisa. So it's either Lisa's sister who might be a doctor or she's a scientist and Lisa told her sister that she wants to try and drug the mother so she can get back with the husband. Or is there somebody else? Like, does she have a brother or does she have somebody else? Like parents or maybe even a friend that's either a doctor or a scientist or something else. And they said these sort of drugs will make anybody go crazy. So then Lisa will be able to get back with the father. So those are the most likely outcomes. I mean, what other reason would Lisa want to get back with the father? I mean, it's not like he's rich or anything. Either she wants to get the mom back into the hospital so she can get back with the dad, or she just wants revenge on the entire family. And she's manipulating Emma, or maybe she is trying to help Emma. It can go either way, and any one of these directions can be a possibility. Now, let's talk about the father for a second. It has been shown that the father is in between two women. He loved his first wife, but he got remarried, and then the mom woke up, and the dad doesn't even know what to do. But here's the thing, if anything, it is the father's fault for not telling Lisa that he was still married. If anything, he lied to Lisa. And again, somebody's going to have to look up this because even though the father married Lisa, and when Lisa found out that he's still married to Emma's mom, so we aren't even legally married? I mean, is this like a real law or what? Somebody tell me. If you ask me, I think the father was in the wrong for not telling Lisa that he's still married to her, to Emma's mom. Or maybe he thought that the mother would never wake up again. So there wouldn't be a need to tell her that he's still married to Emma's mom. And it seems to me that the father's been going backwards and forth. First he was with the mom, and then he was with Lisa. The mom wakes up, the father is in between two women. Lisa leaves, and it seems that he's relieved. Well, you know what I think? I think at that time, I think he was just happy to get out of that situation. Of Lisa just yelling at him. And then Lisa comes back, and Lisa, clearly angry at the mom, saying, "You're taking my husband away." So yeah, I might actually take back Lisa wanting revenge on the family. It's more likely that she wants to get back with the father. Or maybe it's just a pride thing, and she just wants to get rid of the mom, and maybe ruin the family. But it's most likely she wants to get back with the father. But again, it could be one of those two. Either she wants to get rid of the mother, so she can get back with the father, or she wants to destroy the family. Anyways, Lisa leaves again. The dad tries to call her many times, but she won't answer her phone, and her family and friends don't even know where she is. Remember, her friends and family don't know where she is. So it could be either her friends or family or both, either a group or individuals who sided with Lisa to get back with Emma's family. And some of them might be saying, "Oh no, I don't know where she is," but they actually do know where she is. Hell, it could be one of them talking to Lisa when she was on the phone in part 2. Or it could be an outside source that could get their hands on some illegal substance or something. Hey, I'm just throwing that out there. It is a possibility. Anyways, the father tries to call Lisa, but she wouldn't answer, and supposedly nobody knows where she is. And on screen, it looks like that he's happy to be with his wife again, and it seems like that he's over Lisa, and this is on screen. I mean, for all we know, he could be sad off screen, or it could be the opposite. He could be happy off screen, but this will all relevance later. And then Emma's mom starts going crazy, and then he sends her off to the hospital. He starts arguing with his son, and his son says, "This is all Emma's fault. We just got her back, and now she has to send her back to the hospital again." So it's crystal clear that the brother really loves his mother, and it is hinted that the brother holds some disdain for his sister because she was the one who put their mother in a coma, and to him, she did it all over again. And even Emma said that, oh, her brother was distant from her, even though he was nice to her. But I'll get to the brother in a bit. So anyways, yeah, the father is worried because he saw his wife attack his daughter. And there could be loads of things going on in his mind saying that, oh, what's wrong with her? Why did she attack Emma? Maybe she has gone crazy. This is all too much. There could be loads of things going on in his mind. And he also seems happy that his wife is going to be out of the hospital. And he even said that she really wants to see Emma. And then later on, we see him in the kitchen and he's crying while looking at a picture. And we find out that it was a picture of Lisa. And Emma puts this into interpretation that she believes that her dad misses Lisa. And this gives her the push to say, you know what, I'm going to get my family back together. I'm going to go with Lisa's plan so we can get rid of my mom. Now the thing is, this could be interpreted in any direction. Emma said she thought that her father was crying because she believed that he missed Lisa. But the thing is, this is what Emma has got into her head. She thinks that her father misses Lisa. This is the same girl who thinks Lisa is telling the truth about her mom hating her. Maybe this is just wishful thinking on Emma's part. And the reason why I'm saying it like this is because I'm opening the door to some possibilities here. Number one, maybe the father does miss Lisa, and that's why he's crying at her photo. Maybe the father does want to get back with Lisa, but he decides to stay with the mother because it's either out of guilt or he's doing it to help out. Maybe it's pressure from his son. There could be many reasons as to why he has to stay with the mother, but he really wants to be with Lisa. And the father thinks that Lisa hates him and he doesn't even know where she is. But she's been secretly coming into the house and he doesn't even know about it. So that's scenario one. Let's have a look at scenario two. Maybe the father's having a breakdown and he's genuinely worried about his wife. But he also has some guilt for Lisa for lying to her. He has pressure from the son who blames Emma for everything. He has pressure from his wife for attacking Emma and they don't know what's wrong with her. And Emma is afraid of her own mother. And the father saw the mother attack Emma. So maybe he's just having a breakdown. Maybe he just blames himself for everything that's happened. Maybe the other reason why he was crying was because, not because he missed Lisa, but because he feels guilty for lying to Lisa and everything that's happened. And maybe he does miss Lisa. Maybe he wants to stay with his wife because he loves her and he knows that it's his responsibility to stay with his wife. But he also feels guilty for what he did to Lisa, and he also loved her too, maybe a little. Maybe after all this time that he couldn't get in touch with her, and that guilt was just eating him alive, thinking, I wish I could say sorry, I didn't mean to lie to you, I wish I knew where you was. So it can be one of two things. One, he wants to be with Lisa because he misses her so much, and thinking everything was just so simple when we was together. Or scenario two, he loves his current wife, the mother of his children, but he feels guilty for what he did to Lisa, and deep down he still loves her. And he remembers the good times that he had with Lisa. So he wasn't crying because he missed her, it was because he was worried about her and he felt guilty, and maybe all the stress that was happening got to him. So it could have been one of those two things. Either he wants to be with Lisa, or he wants to stay with his wife, but he also feels guilty and is worried about Lisa and all the stress that's happening. Like I said, I'm just throwing this out there. When Emma saw her father cry, she assumed that he missed Lisa and wanted to be with her. This is what Emma thinks. But for all we know, maybe the father just feels guilty and he still loves his current wife. So yeah, there's those two scenarios with the father. Let's quickly talk about the mother. Now, it could be one of two things with the mother. She's either is crazy and she hates Emma for putting her in a coma, or maybe it's the pills that's making her go crazy, but she still loves her family. So those are the two scenarios with the mother. Now, when it comes to the son, it's been shown that he really does love his mother. And at the beginning, it was shown that his mother was reading to him and she made pancakes for him. And she really does love her son. And it's been said and shown that the brother does blame Emma for putting their mom into a coma and sending her back to the hospital again. Hell, in part 2, He even said we should probably ask Lisa to move out, and even Emma agreed to this. And if you ask me, this seems very, very selfish of them. It's like, okay, thanks for being our stepmom, but scram, you're not needed anymore. I mean, does anybody else think that this is selfish? That the kids wanted to leave? Especially the brother? So the dad and the mom and the kids can just be one big happy family again? And we do see the brother apologise to his sister and buying her gifts after when he was arguing with his father, saying this is all Emma's fault. Now, here's the thing. We don't really know that much about the brother, but I can think of two scenarios of what could happen to his character. Number one, she really was a good mother to him, reading to him, making pancakes, all around a good mother. And he really does believe that it's all Emma's fault that she's in the hospital and she went into a coma. Or there's scenario two. Now listen, this is only a scenario. I'm not saying that it actually happened, but it's just an idea. What if the mom was actually a really bad parent to the brother, and he can only remember bits and bobs when he was a little boy, and he's just blocking out all the bad stuff that happened to him? I mean, maybe she was a terrible mother, and he was only thinking about the good stuff that his mom did, and blocked all the bad stuff when he was a kid. So those are the two scenarios that could happen. And listen, I'm not saying that she was a bad mother, I'm just throwing that out there for a scenario. And we've seen what Emma is like. At this point, she's scared of her mom because Lisa used some drugs to make Emma's mom go crazy. And again, it could be one of two things. One, she's actually trying to help, or she's trying to get the mom back in the nut house so she can move back in. So there you go. I've given you guys some possibilities of what they could do. But the thing is, how is this story going to end? Because we have been waiting for about a freaking year for this story to end. Or maybe it's a continuous story where they have loads of parts. Like part 3, 4, 5 or something like that. And you know what? I pray to God that isn't the case. Because we'll end up waiting for another 2 freaking years for the next one. Anyways, I do have a few ideas on how they could end the series in part 3. Okay, scenario 1. The mom is a bad person. Lisa and Emma tries to get the mom put away without telling her brother and father. Scenario 2. The mom is the victim in this, and Emma changes her mind, and Lisa is arrested. Okay, so those are the obvious ones, but what other possibilities could there be? Well, I do have a few ideas, and scenario number 3 is Lisa and Emma are working together to try and get Emma's mom back in the nut house, and the mom is innocent. And as Lisa and Emma is talking about their plan, Emma's brother actually hears Emma and Lisa talk about putting their mom away, and the brother sabotages their plan. He gets evidence that Lisa is behind it, giving the mom pills, breaking an entry, and the brother calls the police on Lisa. But the brother doesn't say anything about Emma helping Lisa. And the reason why he doesn't say that, oh, Emma was also on it as well, is because it would make his mom sad. And he even says that their mom really loves Emma. And the video ends with Emma saying, well, looks like Lisa was lying and was just trying to get back with my father. And now she's in jail and we're all family again. But my brother's disowned me. And he said to me, if you do anything to my mom ever again, I will tell the police that you were in on it with Lisa. So that's scenario 3. Let's have a look at scenario 4. Scenario 4 is everybody is assholes. Emma, the brother and the father and Lisa gets back together and they just put the mother into a nut house. Or they tell her to leave. Yeah, Emma doesn't care about her mom, the brother doesn't care about her mom, the father doesn't care. Everybody just stays with Lisa. I mean, this one's the most unlikely one, but I'm just throwing it out there. Or scenario 5, the father and Lisa decides to stay together, and here's scenario 5.2. Emma actually goes with Lisa and the father, but the brother stays with the mom. So you can either have Lisa, the dad, and Emma stay together while the brother stays with the mom, or Emma and her brother could stay with the mom. Or scenario 6, Lisa and Emma is caught out by the father, and he tells Lisa to never return, and he tells Emma that Lisa has been manipulating her. I mean, there are loads and loads of scenarios for this, and plenty of things that we need to take into consideration too. I still say that it's either going to be that Emma's mom's the victim, or Lisa is the good guy. But what about the other characters like the dad, the brother? And obviously, the brother is going to stick with the mom, but what about the father? Will he stay with the mother, or does he want to go back to Lisa? And obviously, we all know that Emma is scared of her mom. But if you ask me, I think she needs to snap out of it and take into consideration other people. I mean, has she ever took into consideration about her brother, how he loves their mom? I mean, if you ask me, I think Emma's being a little bit selfish here. I mean, how do you think the brother's going to react when he finds out of what Emma's doing, trying to get their mom locked up? because I don't think he would be pleased if he found out, because the brother has had some disdain for Emma, because it's all thanks to her that their mum went into a coma, and to him, all thanks to Emma, she was sent back into the hospital, and he hates her for it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the brother is going to be really angry if he ever finds out. But if you ask me, I think Lisa is just being very selfish. I mean, here's the thing, if he fell out of love with the mother, and he wants to be with Lisa, then he should just say so, instead of dancing around it. I mean, what would the mother think if she ever found out that Emma was trying to go back into the hospital and helping Lisa? There are loads of possibilities for the story, and if you ask me, it has actually made me very irritated because, one, we have been waiting for a freaking year for this video to come out. I mean, the second one came out about like 6 to 8 months later, and now part 3 hasn't even come out yet, and it's been like a freaking year. I mean, let's just say for example, that the mum was the victim and Lisa was the bad guy. Would Emma just be selfish and try and get her mom locked up because, oh, she's scared of her mom? I mean, the story could end up like that. And to be honest, I don't want the story to end up like that. Again, if you ask me, I think the father should make his decision if he wants to stay with Lisa or stay with the mom, and just get all this sorted. That would put an end to all this. I mean, the mom and the kids could have the house, and Dad and Lisa can go and start another family in another house far away or near or wherever. I mean, at the very least, the mom and the kids will have somewhere to live. Or he should be firm and say, listen, Lisa, I'm being firm here. I'm going to stay with my wife. Yes, I do love you, but I also love my wife, and I'm really sorry I lied to you all these years, but I'm going to stay with my wife. There are loads of scenarios of what could happen in the story, and you want to know something? The suspense is killing me. But if you guys want my honest opinion, in this scenario, I think that we should make up our own headcanons. You know, make up our own stories on how the story would end for this story. Like, some people will say, oh, the dad's going to stay with Emma, the mom and the brother, or the father's going to end up with Lisa, or something like that. Because when it comes to part 3, I don't think they're actually going to make everybody happy. Because I know there's going to be some people who want one thing, and there's going to be some people who want another thing, and there's some people who says, oh, they should have added this and added that, you know, that sort of stuff. But, in my opinion, I think our own headcanons is enough. And I think the one thing that really pisses me off about this story is they assume that we think that Lisa's the bad guy and she's just manipulating Emma, but then they make a sharp turn and say, see, Emma's mom was the bad guy. And you know what? I don't want that. I think that would just piss me off more than anything. But hey, it's their story and they can do whatever the hell they want. But let me ask you guys something. What do you want to see in the story? Do you want to see a part 3, 4? I mean, here's the thing. I love part 1. I think it's a masterpiece. I mean, part 2 was good, but it doesn't feel intense as part 1. The music was great, the awkward situation, the drama, the twists. It was great, and I don't think they'll be able to make part 3 as good as part 1. But my god, they are taking a very long time to make part 3. And I wish they would hurry up and get it over with. Hell, there's other videos on YouTube that have stories, and they've got part 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm still waiting for part 5. And a few part 2s, 3s, you know, that sort of stuff. And when something has a really good story to it, or has some unanswered questions, they shouldn't leave us hanging for so long. Because I have seen loads of stories on YouTube, and there has been a few stories, like this one I'm talking about now, that does have good stories, but there's never been like a part 2 or part 3. Like, there was this one video called I Was Adopted by Quintuplets, and I'm still waiting for part 4 or is it part 5? Anyways, and I also hate how they don't give us the full story, and that drives me nuts. I mean, who here is an Avatar fan? Because I'm going to tell you guys something now. There's this character called Azula, and she is one of my favourite characters within that series. And she is a very interesting character. And we see her in the comic, Smoke and Shadow, and we see her hide in the smoke. And we never see her in future comics or any novels. You know, it's something like that. There was loads of potential of using Azula in future stories. It's like that with some animated videos on YouTube. And you know what? They shouldn't leave us high and dry like that. Especially with my mum woke up from a coma and now she wants revenge. I mean, part 1 was just so goddamn good that you could make it into a movie. And for them to leave us hanging for about like 6 or 8 months and then for a year, it can drive anybody crazy. Hell, I even made a few videos about this, and one of them was called Top 10 Short Stories that I wished had a part 2. And on short stories, there are some really good stories on there. I mean, they're so good, they deserve to have a part 2, or they need to have a part 2 because I really want to know what happened to the characters. I mean, there's this one story where there's like a pair of twins, and the one twin framed her sister, and she stole her life. She came out, and she finds out it was her sister who framed her. That story has been driving me absolutely mental. I really wish they would finish that story. And you know what? It's something like that. They can't keep us high and dry like that. I want some closure in my stories. And first, just to wait for like a freaking year is driving me absolutely mental. I mean, it's the same with manga. I mean, back in the day, we used to have chapters come out once a week. But these days, the chapters are once a month. So I decided to get past the anxiety because I cannot stand waiting. I go on for months and months and months, even years, without reading the manga, or chapters I should say. And then, when I've like waited for so long, or the manga's ended, I read the manga all the way to it stops because there hasn't been a new chapter, or the manga stopped. And if there is more chapters to come, I'll go on waiting for months and months, even years. So the next time, I'll have a nice long read of my favourite manga. That's what I like to do anyways. So let me ask you guys something. Is there like a story on YouTube where it has a unsatisfied ending? Or you want there to be like a part 2 or 3? Do you want to know what happened to other characters after the story? Please let me know in the comment section below and let's get a discussion going. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching. And if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions, or responses, or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put the bell on, share this video, and leave a comment in the comment sections below. And as for my social medias, I'm literally freaking everywhere! I'm on most video platforms, social medias, forums, and support sites. It's best to pause the video and see where I am. Literally all of this is down in the description box below. So if you want to go and check those out, please do. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.